I'm Raven.
I'm Taylor.
This is Strange Narratives.
We're back.
We are back at it again.
Happy 2024.
Oh, yeah. Well, probably by the time this episode's out, it will be probably like a week into the new year. But
It's crazy.
we're recording this on December 29th right now. So
We're trying to
just know we wish you all the happiest New Year's. We hope nothing but
safe.
goodness and, happiness comes your way next year. Hope more and more of you guys come and join us, and we get to do a whole nother year of this crazy shit.
Yeah.
It's still
It's
just
so
wild
crazy.
to think that we've only been doing it for like a couple months,
Yeah.
5-6 months now.
I think like 4 or 5, yeah.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
it's crazy.
It's insane. So, thank you guys. We
Thank
love
you. Thank
as
you all.
always.
Make sure you like and subscribe. Hit that bell icon. Please comment. We want that.
interactions going.
Interaction, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's get that going. But with that, I don't think we really have anything else to cover.
Yeah, I don't think we have any more business.
No.
What are you talking about today?
Today I'm talking about the Chernobyl 3.
Oh.
Have you ever heard of this?
I have. Very, minimal detail. But...
Okay, so this is interesting because I watched a video pretty recently, and I feel like it definitely piqued my interest into it, so I started doing a little bit more research. And one of the biggest pieces I found kind of debunks a bit of the story that a lot of people know, and we'll kind of get into that. But it's still really interesting, and it's still without, it kind of goes without saying that these 3 people quite literally did save the world. Like, the amount of damage that could have happened because of this is pretty crazy to think about.
That's crazy. Shout out to y'all.
Yeah, for real. But getting started, April 26th, 1986.
Okay.
I would
Not
ask
that
you.
long ago, but...
I would ask you, where were you? But we weren't alive yet.
we
weren't alive
neither
yet.
of us
No,
were alive yet.
I wasn't born for another 3 years.
Yeah.
But it's crazy to think about that if these 3 dudes didn't do what they did, I probably wouldn't have been born. Or if I had, I would have been born into a much different world, dude.
Yeah.
Like, it is crazy.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not even joking. But on that day, during a routine late-night safety test, the Chernobyl Nuclear Power Plant would experience one of the worst nuclear accidents of all time. It was still up there up until the Fukushima meltdown.
So. Yeah, the nuclear reactor.
Which, did you see the craziness that just happened out there? Like, I think it was like 200 tons of like sardines and mackerel washed up on the shore.
From radiation poisoning?
They think that might have something to do with it because they just released a bunch of the water that they said was irradiated.
I did read something about that.
Yeah, so we're going to kind of have to keep an eye on that. But I definitely would steer clear of seafood for a little while. It's seeming a little iffy.
That makes me sad because I love me some seafood.
But because of this accident, dozens of people would be killed in the immediate aftermath and thousands more in the years to follow.
So sad.
Yeah. The disaster would release roughly 400 times more radiation into the atmosphere than the atomic bomb dropped on Hiroshima.
God damn.
400 times.
Ooh, okay.
The fallout from Chernobyl contaminated millions of acres of surrounding land. However, it could have been apocalyptically worse if not for 3 very brave individuals.
Yeah.
A little over a week after the initial explosion on the 4th of May, 1986, mechanical engineer Alexei Onanenko, senior engineer Valery Bespalov, and shift supervisor Boris Baranov volunteered to go on what many would consider to be a suicide mission.
They have some sick ass names. No wonder
For
they're
real.
So brave.
For real.
Shit.
Fucking
It was written in the
badasses.
stars.
Dude, you'll be able to actually find some crazy pictures of this shit too. Like, it's wild.
Oh my
It's
gosh.
fucking wild.
Visual listeners, get ready.
Oh yeah. They were advised that if they did not survive, their families would be financially compensated for, the foreseeable future.
Right.
The success of their mission would literally determine the fates of millions of people around the world, not just in Europe, like
Right.
around the world. On the initial day of the disaster, in an effort to control the blazing fire that had started because of the meltdown, firefighters pumped water into the nuclear reactor.
Okay.
Which
To try to cool it down.
to try to cool it down and not even to try to cool it down, to just douse the fires. They didn't even think about what they were doing by adding water in with the radiation and everything. So it's a little crazy, but because of that, the basement becomes flooded with irradiated water. Like, yeah. You might as well,
fucking intense.
You might as well be swimming around in just cancer water at that point. Like, it's bad. Oh my gosh. And so, basement also contained the valves that, when turned, would drain the bubbler pools that sat beneath the reactor and which acted as a coolant for the plant, which would be normally fine. But within a few days, it was discovered that molten nuclear material was actually melting through the concrete reactor floor and was making its way slowly down towards those water-filled cooling chambers. And if that happened, it would have caused a chain reaction of radiation-contaminated steam that would have destroyed the remainder of the plant and the other 3 reactors, causing 4 total reactor meltdowns.
Fucking dire ass situation.
Yeah, so it's quite literally like, if you guys don't go in and drain those tanks, everybody's fucking dead. Like, everybody.
Everybody, yeah.
So they have to go in to this. Originally, the story is said that it's so deep that they have to swim through it, holding their flashlights in their mouths, looking for this valve. And they were able to find it even though their flashlights died, and they were literally swimming through the pitch black trying to find this valve. They somehow miraculously, quite literally Mission Impossible, because even if you do succeed, you're still probably dead.
Yeah, this is like giving Poseidon vibes. Have
you
ever seen that
so
movie? Of that cruise ship.
Oh yeah, dude, that one's
Wave.
Fucking crazy.
Yeah,
It was like a
Kurt Russell. There goes my ghost. Merry Christmas.
Merry Chrysler.
But yeah, and so there's this like valve they have to.
Oh, I think I remember that.
And like the things underwater, and so originally it was like the grandson that tried to go down, and he was like, no. And so he goes down, and it's literally a suicide mission.
Yeah, because you won't have enough oxygen to make it back.
Yeah. That's what this is giving right now. But
that's
like 10 times
that's
worse.
One of my biggest fears, dude. Being trapped underwater. No.
You'll never catch me on open ocean.
Nope. We were talking about that during the Mary Celeste.
Yep,
no.
eat shit.
Fuck no. I will literally find a way to die.
If I'm not dying by drowning, it's gonna be the fucking Kraken.
I will no. If I ever get lost out in the middle of the ocean, I'm gonna swim down and find a motherfucking shark that fight and be like, "Eat me, bitch."
Blue whale, swallow my ass.
Blue whale, swallow me. Turn me into Pinocchio.
I'm done.
I'm done with this shit. So it would cause a crazy chain reaction of radiation. And the only way to drain the 20 million liters of water that was sitting below the melting radioactive material was by turning the correct valves down in the now flooded basement, which is insane to think about.
Yeah, fuck that.
But this is where the Chernobyl 3 would, gain their renown. If these 3 courageous men were not successful in their mission, the Chernobyl death toll was likely to reach millions. Nuclear physicist Vasily Nestorenko declared that the blast would have had a force of 3 to 5 megatons, leaving much of Europe uninhabitable for hundreds of thousands of years.
That's fucking insane to think about.
Like, literally. If this full level reaction had gone off, Europe wouldn't exist as we know it.
Well, and you think about natural disaster wise, Hurricane Katrina, parts of the U.S. are still trying to fucking rebuild.
There's still parts of that city that are completely abandoned because of it. Imagine Europe.
If a fucking natural disaster can do some shit like that, where
that happened for
when I was
hundreds.
in 6th grade,
yeah.
So fuck, 16 years? Yeah. 16 fucking years since Katrina, I think.
Yeah.
Unless my math sucks, which...
No, it happened in 2004, I'm pretty sure,
I
right?
thought it was 2006.
Or 2006. No, it was 2006.
Okay.
Was it 2006? I don't know. Correct us in the comments if we're wrong. I don't
Or
remember.
I'll correct it
I was in
with
the
sub,
military. Was I in the military?
I was in 6th grade, so that was 2006, 2007 for me. Or no, 2005, 2006.
Maybe it was 2006, 2007, because I don't think I was in the military yet.
It had to have been 05, 06 for sure. Because I know I was in 6th grade. I remember watching it every day on the fucking morning news.
But yeah, so just, that's crazy to think how different our entire world would be right now if these three dudes didn't do this. It's crazy to think about.
Shout out to y'all, because couldn't be me.
Dressed in...
I'm ready to go.
Right? Just be like, hey, guess we're fucked.
Sorry.
Dressed in wetsuits and equipped with just a flashlight, the three volunteers jumped into the darkness of the basement below and went in search of the hidden valves. The following events have been turned into somewhat of a modern myth, which is still being debated to this day. For decades after the event, it was widely reported that the three men swam through radioactive water in near darkness, somehow located the valves even after their flashlight had died, successfully escaped, but would later succumb to acute radiation syndrome, also known as ARS. They were apparently buried in lead coffins. And that was how the story has gone, and many people know it. However, Andrew Leatherborough, the author of the 2016 book Chernobyl 01-2340, which is what time the meltdown happened, spent 5 years researching the disaster and discovered a slightly different, yet no less heroic turn of events. The basement was flooded with radioactive water, but firefighters had previously pumped out a lot of it, so it was only up to about the knee.
Okay.
So they still had to wade through radioactive water, but they weren't fucking swimming.
That's good at least.
That's good, but that's still, like, that exposure to radiation is
water.
enough to fuck you up.
Yeah.
They also weren't the first to enter the basement, as others had gone down to measure how much radiation was in there, but none of them really ventured into the basement.
Water.
Yeah, they probably like went down and were like, yeah, radiation's at this, and they went back up. But these three dudes walked into this fucking tunnel.
Did they have any sort of like protective gear?
Just wetsuits.
It can only help
just
you
wetsuits.
So much,
You'll see the pictures. It's just rubber wetsuits with like scuba masks.
You would think that they'd have
radiation suits.
That, or at least like extra thick like wading boots,
right?
You know?
Yeah.
Or like a half wading suit as well.
Something, yeah. I
mean, like it probably wouldn't help too terribly much, but that's the little added protection,
right?
You know,
At least,
if you think about it.
It's
I don't know.
The discovery of the valves was still insanely lucky. According to Leatherborough, quote, the men entered the basement in wetsuits, radioactive water up to their knees, in a corridor stuffed with a myriad of pipes and valves. It was like finding a needle in a haystack.
Fuck.
Like, they couldn't just go down there and start opening every valve. They had to open a very specific valve in a tunnel of fucking valves.
That's like, so fucking intense.
Yeah.
The pressure is literally thickums. Like, you have the weight of the fucking country, if not the world, on the back of your fucking shoulders at that moment.
He was quoted saying to the Soviet media, quote, everyone at the Chernobyl nuclear power station was watching this operation. When the searchlight beam fell on a pipe, we were joyous. The pipe led to the valves. We heard the rush of the water out of the tank, and in a few more minutes, we were being embraced by the guys. So it was a quick mission.
I'm thankful for that.
Yeah. And it's crazy, but it's crazy.
Amazing. Holy shit. Y'all got some balls on you.
Can't even imagine. And they didn't fall off.
Yeah. Hey.
Hey. In the years following the accident, around 600,000 decontamination workers, also known as liquidators, were brought in to help clean up the aftermath of the reactor meltdown and everything. many thousands of them would actually end up paying the ultimate cost. They would be exposed to it for so long that they would all develop ARS, and a lot of them would die. And if they didn't, their people in the nearby areas were still subjected to it, and they got like there's been growth, defects and lots of increases in cancers and stuff in the area. Like it's horrible.
The effects that radiation has on your fucking body, especially nuclear radiation, is insane.
Yeah.
It's so sad.
I don't know, like part of me has always wanted to be like a nuclear physicist working in like a cool nuclear reactor, but I've seen what nuclear radiation does to a person, and that shit's scary.
It's scary. We'll have
and it's also
up, so trigger warning.
Like, yeah, you can you'll know when you fucked up and get a lethal dose probably, but working in a plant and receiving small little micro doses every day that you don't realize or whatever, and then 10 years later you develop cancer and you're like, fuck.
See, I would be so fucking paranoid. Like, I wouldn't be able to...
Well, that's, like, I'm not even joking.
I know I wouldn't be able to
One of my biggest fears right now, because of the military, is almost every single chemical we worked with, every oil, every fuel, everything, all of it was labeled to be known to cause cancer, and we still use it all. And so one of my biggest fears is I'm gonna just fucking end up with cancer one day, and there's not gonna be shit I can do about it.
It's scary. That's why you notice something weird or you feel off.
I got a doctor's appointment in January, and I'm gonna talk to her about a lot of shit.
Good.
I want to get a lot of the old bitch checkups.
Yeah.
Because I'm an old bitch.
It's time.
It's that time. My hips are giving out. Chernobyl 3 would actually live a lot longer than a few weeks. And none would actually succumb to ARS.
That's good.
Yeah. As of 2015, it was reported that 2 of the men were still alive.
Damn. Okay.
The only one having passed away is Boris Baranov of a heart attack in 2005.
That's so sad.
So none of them were killed because of this suicide mission, but they could have been.
Yeah.
Like they got lucky. None of them got ARS when so many others that didn't tread through irradiated water did. Yeah. It's just fucking nuts to think about. What are the
fucking odds, you know?
Yeah. But so that's the Chernobyl 3.
That's crazy interesting.
Right? Like I remember hearing about Chernobyl my whole life because it's always been a big thing.
Yeah. We learned about it in history and shit.
But they never elaborated on like how big of a disaster it really was and how much bigger it, and well that was also because a lot of this wasn't found out until much later because the Soviets kept a lot of this hidden. They didn't want the public to know that they fucked up and, caused this giant meltdown.
Fair,
it makes sense, but it's also
fucked up that bad either. But
it's the Soviets. All they do is fucking hide shit from their people.
Oh, absolutely. I think it's crazy that these 3 men were ballsy enough to be like, yeah.
I mean, they
if somebody's got to fucking do it, we'll do it.
Honestly, if somebody was to tell me, like, look, if we do not stop this, like, the world as we know it is going to be fucking destroyed, and you're one of the few people that can go down there and do it, fuck, dude, you gotta. Like,
at that point, it's like, well, fuck, okay.
Okay. Fucking cool. But I would basically do the same thing. You better promise my family is taken care of for the rest of my life. Yep. And if I survive this, you better fucking take care of me for the rest of my life.
Exactly.
I want a fucking 4-star general retirement after I'm done wading through this fucking nuclear water.
Want a Purple Heart?
Yeah. 3 Purple Hearts.
Yeah. Fuck.
Fucking.
Tax that shit.
Yeah, dude. Like, that's crazy, though. It's so crazy.
That's amazing. It's so much better than, like, I guess what I realized. I knew very little about it, and I was like, yeah, like, it's really fucked up.
Well, because, like,
like,
it's crazy, like, the area is still very much evacuated. There's still large swaths of that land that people can't go on because it's still too irradiated, and it will be for hundreds more years.
Yeah.
But to think that all of Europe could have been turned into a fucking nuclear... That's actually an interesting proposition for, like, a story. A future or like an alternate timeline where Chernobyl did have a massive meltdown and all of Europe is just a nuclear wasteland.
We found your book idea.
That's a good idea. It's a really good I've been wanting to write a lot lately. I've been actually starting like little bits here and there, just kind of trying to get the fingertips going again.
There you go. There's a fucking topic idea for you.
That's a really cool one. I'm gonna, because then I can do some really cool research and make sure it's like I'm accurate in what I'm saying, but it's still like I don't have to be 100% historically. Yeah, because it's still there's still an alternate timeline, so I can change some events and obviously, you know, have a little bit of a leeway, but I still want to be kind of based in reality.
Right, right. You want it to be like the one where it like makes sense.
Yes.
But it's also like
cool
timelines.
Yeah.
Sci-fi.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You're picking up what I'm putting down.
Every time.
Every time. You're like are you like the claw?
The claw.
The claw has chosen. I saw a meme where it was like 20 fucking kittens in a litter, and somebody comes in and they all stand up on their hind legs, and it does that. The claw.
I used to love going to the little pet store at the Aurora Mall, and like just going up to the window and all the puppies running out.
Do you know how fucked up those pet stores are?
Yeah, it's puppy mills as fuck. My mom's gotten so many dogs from there.
They drug a lot of those dogs to keep them sedated. That's why they're always sleeping in there. It's not because they're cute little puppies that need to sleep all the time. With that much commotion, those puppies would not be able to be asleep all the time.
Yeah, no,
they sedate the fuck out of them.
That's
why I will never buy an animal from a pet store.
My mom has bought multiple dogs from there.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, I mean, stop buying puppy mill dogs. Stop buying puppy mill dogs.
I say it's bad, but at the same time, like, those puppies still deserve a chance at a good home. They don't deserve to be trapped in those fucking
I absolutely
shitty
agree with
pet
that,
stores. But by buying them, you are funding the people that do it, and you make them want to keep doing it.
Stops fucking buying them.
They would have to stop existing.
Exactly.
But it's
I mean, what scares me is like a lot of them will probably be euthanized, or all of them. Or take them to the fucking shelters.
Well, the shelters are already super overcrowded. Because it's just our lives. I'm sorry, dude. We'll have to, when we're famous next year, we'll go get a fucking studio. Yeah. Where we can go and be like, hey, we're going to drive to the studio. You babysit the kids. And then we go and meet our entire production team at the fucking studio. And have our makeup artist do our hair and makeup for us before we go in. Dude, the fucking dream. The fucking dream.
We're manifesting, guys.
I want it so bad. I'm so tired of doing this bullshit fucking job, dude.
Same.
I'm breaking my back. Like, that's why I joke about doing OnlyFans. I'm already literally on my knees for fucking 8 hours a day. I might as well get paid better money.
Shit.
Like,
yeah.
But with
that was really cool.
Yeah, I'm glad you liked that. I thought because I was listening to a different channel that I think released a video about it a while ago, and it was just like I didn't realize that. Like I've heard of the liquidators before and all of the people that went in, but I'd never heard of like the 3 key individuals that basically were the ones that prevented everything.
Well, and it's weird how they're not like more widely talked about.
But that's the thing. Soviet Union was so obsessed with sweeping it all under the rug that these heroes don't get the recognition that they deserve until fucking 30, 40 years, 30-something years later.
It's not fair.
Yeah.
Thank you guys. Wow.
Thank you all for listening.
Yeah.
Please subscribe. Hit that like button. Comment down below if you have any suggestions or if you have any comments about the video. Mm-hmm. Hit that bell icon so you don't miss anything. I think I already said that, but I don't remember.
Yes. Hit us up on socials.
Just in case, hit that bell icon. No, I'm just kidding.
One more time.
One more time for good effort.
Follow us on socials.
Yes, Strange Narratives, TikTok, Instagram, Spotify, YouTube, Facebook.
Yep. StrangeNarratives@gmail.com.
Gmail.com. Send us your suggestions, your feedback. Send us some stories. Send us some fan art.
Shit.
Don't actually send us shit.
Yeah.
Don't ever send us dick pics. I will fucking find where you live.
She will beat that ass.
Beat the shit out of you.
And I'll be coming in behind to clean it up.
Yep. We'll both just be coming in.
Is that your dick?
Is that your dick? Is this your dick? No, what will happen is we'll forward that email to your motherfucking wife.
Or your mom.
Or your mama.
Put it on a missing person.
Oh no. Have you seen this dick? How could you ever tell them apart? They all look the same.
You'd be surprised.
True.
Anyway.
I think we're gonna go. Peace. Bye. It's always the dramatic look at the camera that makes me fucking laugh. I don't know. I work in it, so I fucking hate it.
That's
but
fair.
It's got its up. I love crap. Give me some good motherfucking crap, dude.
For Christmas Day, I made
I'm sorry.
Fucking prime rib and crab legs.
Oh, that sounds so good.
It's super good.
That sounds so
I made
good.
Some mashy boys, gravy, au jus.
Ooh.
Green beans.
Au jus.
Green bean casserole.
I just like saying that. Au jus.
It sounds
like,
so fancy.
Oh, right? It's almost like you're saying something like romantic, but you're like, dipping sauce. I'll just slow down.
Still really fucked up. I bit the fuck out of it during my seizure.
Oh no! Ouch!
Yeah, and so I keep catching it on my fucking canine. In my.
That's the worst. I had bit the inside of my cheek a couple weeks ago, and I was doing that all the time.
Yeah, I fucked it up. My lip is healing, where I bit it.
Did you hit your face on something?
No, I was smart enough at the moment to crouch down to the ground because I was like, something's not right. And so I was like, scary. Get low. Just, I don't know. It was like a weird, I knew something was coming, I guess. I knew something was
I know. I know exactly what you mean. When I pass out, I can tell it's it's usually my hands and feet go numb, prickly pins and needles numb, and I'll start doing that, and then it's when I start to look at my hands, I'll notice that I can't focus, and my vision starts to tunnel, and that's when I'm usually I think I'm gonna pass out.
Well, and I vaguely remember my head starting to shake as I was laying myself down.
Scary.
I was like, something's wrong, but I was like, my head started feeling really weird, and my vision started going out. And so I was holding onto the bar top, and I was going like this, just trying to see my hand. And I looked at my bartender, and my head started shaking. I started lowering myself down, and she was like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, I couldn't even speak. And then lights out, and I woke up in a fucking ambulance. They're like, "Hey Taylor, guess what? You got a fucking seizure." I was like, "What the fuck is going on?"
Who's paying for the ambulance bill?
Medicaid.
Oh, good. Good, because that shit's expensive, dude.
They're really good about
ambulances
covering everything. So if I do have to pay anything, it'll be maybe a couple $100.
That's not bad.
Yeah, fucking shout out.
Much better than what it could be.
Oh God, yeah. I was like, you're gonna call a fucking ambulance? Take me yourself.
Have you seen that video of them asking people in Europe and England
how much they think?
How much do you think an ambulance is, or how? And somebody's like, oh, I don't know, 75 quid, and they're like $6,000, and she, without even missing a beat, she just goes, Oh, so if you're broke, you're dead.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Literally.
Basically,
Yeah.
welcome to America.
And in reality, when you get that fucking bill, it's more like $50K.
Yeah. Yep.
So.
Stupid.
That's why I was like, you'll call the fucking ambulance? Like, that's expensive.
Right? But I would
like,
too. If you were seizing, dude, I wouldn't risk it.
Yeah, that's true. I guess I did like come to, and my eyes were just like wide open, and I like couldn't
Non-responsive.
respond.
Yeah, that's even scarier. That's yeah.
And I was like, I don't remember any of that. I literally remember coming to in the ambulance, and us taking off. And
when I was in the military, I came back for my 21st birthday, and all I did when I was here was drink. And it's really deceptive here because you don't feel dehydration as much here as you do in the desert.
Well, it's the altitude.
Yeah. And so I get back from being here for a week and go to work. And at the time I'm still smoking. So I'm like chain smoking a cigarette, didn't eat breakfast. I've been shit-faced drunk for the last week. Haven't drank any water. It's 130 fucking degrees.
Ugh.
Yep.
I could never live in Arizona.
Oh, dude, I'll never go back. It's quite literally going into hell. And so I walk in and we have to do this stupid formation every morning where we're kind of like you'd stand in line and they would brief you about stupid shit that never really meant anything. And we're all standing there and I don't remember any of this, but all of a sudden, like my hands start to go numb and my vision starts to do this thing. So I like crossed my hands and like leaned a little bit. And that's the last thing I remember. And everybody in my shop said I started like walking around and like bumping into people like I was trying to start a mosh pit. And they thought I was like fucking around with them at first. And they were all like, haha, Ferraro, what the fuck are you doing? Stop fucking Joker. And then they looked at me and my eyes were rolled into the back of my head and I was fucking like seizuring, bouncing around the middle of this fucking formation.
How did you not bust your ass?
They fucking caught me and lowered me to the ground.
Oh my god.
And so I come to,
realized.
I come to with my head laying in some fucking master sergeant's lap. And he's like, what happened? You dropped like a fucking sack of potatoes. And I was like, I have no idea. And so they put me in an ambulance and took me to the hospital. And they said that my kidneys were shutting down because I was so dehydrated. They couldn't process anything. And they were just completely shutting down.
So they pump you with fluids?
Oh, they had to pump me. They had me hooked up to an IV. They had me drink 3 full-sized Gatorades. I think they made me take 2 saline drips.
Tablets,
yeah.
It's
no joke, dude. You can't fuck with dehydration.
Feel like that again, get liquid IV.
I've heard of that.
It's amazing. Ugh. That is the best way. It has like 3 times the electrolytes of a Gatorade.
I've heard of that.
Single packet.
I need to do that. I need to do that anyways because I'm just always fucking dehydrated.
Yeah. I mean, it's good to do regardless, for sure. Your body needs electrolytes, especially after like we've both been sick and stuff.
You've seen Idiocracy, right?
Yeah.
Electrolytes. It's what your body needs. Where's the water? What, like in the toilet? You know what? That used to be a fucking satirical movie. That is just a foreshadowing of current day events, dude. People are so fucking stupid. It's not even funny.
Idiots anymore. They get like fucking vulgar with it.
It was weird.
They're like, I'm gonna fuck those toes.
No, you're not. That's not how they work.
No, you're fucking not.
That's not. These toes were meant for walking, not fucking. Jesus,
no, you're
fucking
not, dude.
weirdo. I'm
come
sorry, I'm
anywhere
not
near me,
trying
I'm
to
calling
kink
the
shame, but
Hello,
that's
cops.